damn it. They're like my two favorites. Rum, consistently. I make a lot of roasts, like roast veggies are my like go-to. Maybe not necessarily my favorite, but my favorite because it's easy and reliable. The weather, definitely the weather living in Queensland. It's pretty nice all year round. Next holiday destination, depending on when we can travel, is either gonna be Bali or Byron. It depends. Bali or, if we can't, Byron. Up early, always. My favorite podcast of all time would be the ATP Science podcast. They, because it's like really sciencey and like health nerd sciencey, but kind of like, they'll probably kill me for saying this, but like a little bit bogan, which I appreciate. It's like smart and super cash at the same time, but I always get something out of it and a laugh. So that's my go-to podcast. We've actually been re-binging on Suits. We started all over again. I think the best thing about being a mum is you are forced to act like a kid and think like a kid all over again, like something that you like totally lose, and that you have to act in a certain way that you want to be a mirror for your child. So I find I catch myself like throwing away heaps of like maybe negative traits or views or attitudes or anything because I don't want her to see them, and then we end up doing really fun, relaxed things all the time. So like we'll sing more, dance more, go outside more because like I want her to do that, and so I end up doing it, and then it ends up being like fun childhood all over again. I'm gonna say my favorite is the mini rig for my daughter because it's ridiculous, it's adorable, and she loves it, and it keeps her occupied while I'm on mine. But yeah, I'm just gonna say, if I had to specify on the rig, I'm gonna say the pull-up bars, because I'm very, very fussy with pull-up bars. I don't wanna put tape on pull-up bars. I don't wanna have to like worry about slipping and not being able to do my workout. And that was like the thing I loved from the very start, is that they were like super grippy. Ooh, I haven't done it in a long time. I'm gonna say either Isabel or Mary, one of the two. I'm really good at Isabel, but I really like Mary. I've got two. These are like athlete related. One is to always be primed and never have to warm up or prep or do anything. So you could just like be boom, I am just there, and also that all of my gear would already be set up. So you could like snap your fingers and your whole space would be set up. You'd be in the location, warmed up, ready to go. That's my dream superpower. It doesn't exist yet, but that's what I would invent. No, I'm just gonna go with that one. That's it. That's all I want in life. I'm gonna say someone that's relevant to me right now, just someone that I'm following and I would be really interested to just sit down and like pick their brain, would be Dr. Stacey Sims. So I've been like reading and researching a lot about like women in sport particularly, and like how our bodies are different to men and how we like perform differently and how we have to be looked after differently. I think it'd be really cool because obviously that's like something that's totally in my realm, and now like being a mum, I definitely feel like I actually have to cater to that a lot more. So I'd love to just sit down and ask 1,000 questions, and because she seems pretty cool. I'd say the only thing I've ever really had on my bucket list as like a definite, you know, I want to do like a lot of things, but my main thing was to live away. So like do a period of time in another country or somewhere like, yeah, another country essentially for like 6 to 12 months, like with the family, live their life, work away, and just kind of like immerse yourself in, like we talked about doing it in Bali for a while, like just, yeah, getting a little villa, doing our work from there, and then just setting up like Scotty go to school or daycare or whatever over there. And so at some point in time, I would like to do that. Take like Maddie take 12 months without pay or something like that and just go away and yeah. I'm motto or something that I've always been told to like come back to and I sort of really live by is to look yourself in the mirror first. So if I ever feel a particular way, you know, a perfect example is if you're like really triggered by something, or if something's happening that's not ideal, doesn't feel good, doesn't have the outcome you want, is to look at what I've done or could have done, or maybe how I'm perceiving something first before moving through with action. And I've like lived like that for a long time, identify like all of my faults, deal with me first, and then go to the rest of like anyone else that's involved or anything else that may have made that happen. And I think that that's like a really good, that's probably the best advice I've been given, because you're a lot more content with how you do things and constantly improving on yourself before pointing blame or doing anything like that, yeah, to anyone else or anything else. It's kind of broad, but yeah, that's probably the best thing. We had one, I can't even think, it's like John Farnham, anything John Farnham, that's what it was. There's footage of us singing karaoke before we were together after regionals in, I'm gonna say it was like the last one in Wollongong maybe, like, I don't even know, 2016 or something like that. And yeah, it ended up like there was some camera crew from the games that was at this dodgy little pub that we didn't even know, and we were up singing John Farnham songs on stage, and it ended up everywhere. So that's our go-to. That, or yeah, something country. I wish I had an amazing smoothie recipe. I have my like go-to basic, you know, I keep it really simple. If I'm gonna make smoothies, which I actually do make often for Scotty and me, because it's like a really easy way to sneak good stuff in. My trick is always put like a fruit or something that you like. It doesn't matter what it is. Frozen's best because it makes it nice and cold and slushy. Put the milk of your choice. I always put 1 to 2 scoops of collagen protein, always. I put a fat, so either a handful of nuts or nut butter, or even like a spoon of coconut cream or oil, and then I grate a vegetable into it. So if I'm making something for Scotty, I'll grate either cauliflower, or usually I'll put like almost a whole zucchini grated in, and she's had like a big hit of vegetables. You don't even notice it. It adds like a super cold element to it, and it's not just eating fruit all the time. Podium in 2017 was pretty cool at the CrossFit Games, mainly because obviously I had been aiming to get to the podium and I hadn't been there yet, so it was amazing. But it was probably because I didn't expect it that year, and I had the most fun at the games. I had a terrible year, like all of this kind of crazy stuff that was really, really hard, and I had taken away all expectations because I thought there's no way I'm gonna have a good outcome now. Took all of my expectations away, and then I had the most fun I've ever had in competition, and then podium. So that was like a massive highlight and a real eye-opener to see that if you just enjoy yourself and take the stress off, you can actually do a lot better. So that will stick in my mind, I think, for my life. We always go to the beach, which is super Aussie, and we eat rumbles. And I make rumbles, and it's a constant struggle of trying to still keep them together but have as much rum in them as possible without them just falling apart into liquid. That's our Christmas, and you just sit around, eat, go to the beach, sit around bloated, eat rumbles, have a nap in the afternoon. That's about it. And seafood, of course.